The reading. 3. If you overesteem great men, people become powerless. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. The master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think that they know. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. The story. There was once a village governor named Wei Zhong who inherited his position from his father. The village sat at the foot of the Qinling Mountains, where mist clung to cedar trees in the mornings, and the river ran cold and clear over smooth stones. It was a peaceful place, the kind of place where a man could hear his own breathing if he stood still long enough. But Wei Zhong was an ambitious man. He had traveled to the capital in his youth and seen the lacquered gates, the jade ornaments, the scholars in their silk robes, debating philosophy beneath weeping willows. He returned home burning with a vision. He would make his village great. He began by identifying the most talented young men and women. He held examinations. He posted rankings on the village notice board for everyone to see. The best calligrapher, the fastest runner, the most skilled potter. He awarded them bronze medallions and gave them seats of honor at the harvest banquet. He believed he was inspiring excellence. Within a single season, things changed. The potter, who had always hummed while she worked, began glancing sideways at her neighbor's kiln. The calligrapher started locking his studio door, afraid someone would copy his brushstrokes. Children who once played freely by the river now sulked in doorways, shamed by their parents for not making the rankings. Friendships curdled into rivalries. The village, once quiet with contentment, now hummed with a low, anxious tension, like a string pulled too tight on a guzheng. Then Wei Zhong made his second mistake. He traveled to the southern trade routes and brought back bolts of iridescent silk, porcelain so thin you could see candlelight through it, and a cage containing a golden songbird from beyond the sea. He displayed them in the village square, believing that the sight of such wonders would motivate the people to work harder, to trade more, to reach for something greater. Instead, they reached for each other's throats. A farmer stole persimmons from his brother's orchard to sell at market. Two families who had shared a well for generations began arguing over water rights. A young boy, barely 12, was caught climbing through the window of the storehouse where the silk was kept. His mother wept in the town square, not because her son was a thief, but because she understood somewhere deep within her chest that the hunger in his eyes had been put there. Wei Zhong sat alone in his study that evening, the ink on his magistrate's desk dry and cracking. He had not written a single decree in days. He did not know what to write. It was then that a wandering monk appeared at his gate. She was old, her robes the color of dust, her sandals worn through at the soles. She carried nothing but a wooden staff and a gourd of water. Wei Zhong, desperate, invited her in and poured her tea, cheap tea, the same kind the farmers drank. She sipped it slowly as though it were the finest oolong in the empire. "You have given your people eyes for things they did not need to see," she said, setting the cup down gently. "You have given them a hunger they did not have before you arrived, and now you wonder why they are starving." Wei Zhong stared at the golden songbird in its cage across the room. It had not sung once since he brought it here. "What do I do?" he asked. The monk smiled. "Feed them rice, not ambition. Let them sleep deeply, not scheme through the night. A ruler's greatest work is the work no one notices. Take down your rankings, put away your treasures. Let the village forget what it means to want what it does not need." He did. It took time. He removed the notice board. He returned the silk and the porcelain to the traders. He opened the cage and let the golden bird disappear into the mountains. Slowly, like water finding its level, the village settled. The potter began humming again. The children returned to the river, and Wei Zhong, for the first time in years, slept without dreaming. The interpretation. Wei Zhong did not create evil people. He created an environment that manufactured desire where none had existed. The rankings created envy, the treasures created craving, the displays created restlessness. Laozi's sage does not suppress the people. The sage simply stops poisoning the well. Emptying their minds does not mean making people ignorant. It means freeing them from the relentless comparison, the manufactured scarcity, the engineered sense of inadequacy that makes a peaceful life feel like failure. Filling their bellies means attending to what is real, nourishment, stability, sufficiency, rather than what glitters. The deepest line in this chapter is the last. Practice non-action, and everything will fall into place. This is not laziness. It is the profound restraint of a leader who understands that the best systems do not need to be forced. They flow. The modern practice. Consider how this ancient wisdom speaks directly to the life you are living right now. First, curate what you see. You are Wei Zhong's villager, and your phone is the village square full of golden songbirds. Every time you scroll through images of people richer, thinner, more successful than you are standing before a display designed to manufacture desire. Laozi would tell you, close the square. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel like your life is insufficient. You are not lacking. You have been shown too much. Second, stop ranking yourself. At work, in your friendships, even in your own family, notice how often you silently compare. Who earns more? Who is further along? Who got promoted? These mental rankings are the notice board Wei Zhong nailed to the wall. They create rivalry where none needs to exist. Practice stepping out of the competition entirely, not because you are afraid of losing, but because you realize the game itself is the problem. Third, return to the body. Laozi says to fill the belly and strengthen the bones. This is not metaphor. When you are anxious, eat something warm. When your mind races at night, go for a walk. When ambition makes your chest tight, sit with both feet on the floor and breathe until you can hear the room again. The sage governs by returning people to what is simple and real. You can govern yourself the same way. The greatest act of rebellion in the modern world is not wanting more. It is sitting quietly in a room and realizing you already have enough. This has been chapter 3 of the Dao De Jing. In the next video, we will explore the second chapter and put everything into a story and simple interpretation for daily lives. Click on the next video if you want to find out more about the philosophy of Dao De Jing.